started churches, and they don't have that. They don't have a board. There's no accountability. And next thing you know, maybe a church starts growing, and there's money just wasted right and left. That's a serious deal, man. That's God's money you're messing with. And I praise God for our board. You know, the board, basically the way I look at it, it's accountability, it's insight, and it's expertise. I was having a good discussion with a guy the other day over a protein shake, and we were talking about how God's doing a mighty work here. And, you know, we're talking about the future and stuff, and I gotta tell you, man, I love the Bible, I love people. I don't have a clue when it comes to all this crazy stuff. You know what happens? God starts sending people all together. You see what he's doing right now. Boom, boom, boom. And then you have a board, and you have some advisors, and you have the body working together, and there's accountability, there's insight, there's expertise. I love that. So you don't have to worry about, man, all right, I'm writing this check. Where's this money going to? You're giving it to God, and then now there's built-in accountability for that. I think it's crucial, and I think that's something I wanted to share with you guys. But that's what it wasn't going on back in the day. There was no accountability. These guys were just taking off. So Paul had to really go over and above. Now Paul, he did receive compensation. In fact, if you look in Philippians 4, he wrote to the church in Philippi, and the church in Philippi raised a good financial gift and sent it to him. And he said, hey man, thanks a lot for that gift, you know, and I pray that multiplies in the souls, you know. So, but at the church in Corinth, he was very sensitive to that. He said, I'm going to go above and beyond this and be very careful that these people know what my motivation is. Back in 1 Corinthians 9. Let's pick it up. Verse 13. He jumps back into another defense of how it is absolutely okay and biblical for the minister to receive compensation from the body. Look at verse 13. Do you not know that those who minister the holy things eat of the things of the temple, and those who serve at the altar partake of the offerings of the altar? Even so, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should live from the gospel. Pause right there. So he's saying, number one, the Jewish priests and Levites, the people would come and want to worship God. They were the people that would take those animals and kill the animals and then go and sprinkle the blood on the mercy seat. So, and then after that animal was killed, a portion of the animal, they'd grill it up, you know, they'd whip out the gas grill and they'd have barbecue and they would eat some of that. That was part of the way that God set it up for them to be compensated, to be taken care of. So he said, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And then he goes in and starts talking about what Jesus talked about. Turn to Luke 10, and I want you guys to see this. Luke chapter 10, Jesus himself starts giving some insight into the same thing of how, hey, the minister can be compensated here. Luke chapter 10, let's start at verse 2 for context here. Then he said to them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. Go your way. Behold, I send you out as lambs among wolves. Carry neither money bag, knapsack, sandals, and greet no one along the road. But whatever house you enter, first say peace to this house. And if a son of peace is there, well, your peace will rest on it. If not, it will return to you. See that gift of discernment when you walk into that house. Verse 7, and remain in the same house, eating and drinking such things as they give. And there it is, for the laborer is worthy of his wages. Don't go from house to house, whatever city you enter, and they receive you, eat such things that are set before you. Pause right there. Do you see it? He's saying, I'm going to send you out, and I'm going to direct you to a different house or whatever, and whatever they set before you, that's good. And that's what we've done here at Calvary Chapel. We've walked in, we said, God's led us clearly to this place. We want to start teaching the Bible, we want to start investing in people. And we put a box in the back. Haven't talked about it one time. What's God doing? He's investing in these finances that it's storing up, it's being saved, man. It's being saved in an account to continue to build into his kingdom. It's being given. I don't know if you guys know it, but the right resources are getting spread out to different ministries for the gospel. And as God continues to give, and as he continues to lead, we progress as he provides. That's how we do it, man. It's an awesome thing. Verse 15, back in chapter 9. Let's start getting to the crux of this message. 1 Corinthians 9 and 15. Corinthians 9:15, but I have used none of these things, nor have I written these things that it should be done so to me. For it would be better for me to die than that anyone should make my boasting void. For if I preach the gospel, I have nothing to boast of. For necessity is laid upon me, yes. And here it is. This is the crux of the message. Woe is me if I do not preach the gospel. Pause right there. Did you hear that? He's like, I want to bypass the whole thing of money, and I want you guys to know, dude, I can't do anything else. Woe is me. I can't live unless I'm doing what I'm doing. That's what Paul's saying. I'm not doing this for a paycheck. I'm not saying, I just didn't wake up one day and go, well, I think ministry would be a great, be a lucrative deal, man. I think I need to go into it. And can I just share personally? I had no clue, not in a million years. There's people in here right now that are going, yeah, you're right, dude, not in a million years. God will call you, and you cannot do anything else but preach the gospel, man. Some of you in here right now, I see what God's going to do in some of your lives. Necessity will be laid upon you, and you'll be like, I can't do anything else. Now, when we started this church, we could very easily, with a lot of the connections we have and stuff, we could have campaigned and gone, hey, we're going to go start this church, and if you just give $29.95, and you can have a monthly draw out of your account, and so we can know. We could have done that very easily. But you know what happened? And let me again, I don't want to talk down different people got to do it, how they want to do it, and how they're led. But I love Calvary Chapel's philosophy. What happens is, and some of you guys saw it, when we were in Fort Lauderdale, you know what they did? They're like, all right, you ready to go? Okay, great. And they brought us up on the pulpit, and they said, all right, let's pray for you. And Pastor Bob made some jokes with Denise, and was like, going to Omaha, there's like 8 inches of snow there. What do you think? And they prayed, and they were like, all right, good luck. Have a good time. And I'm like, wait, I don't have a job? I got a family? Have fun. Here's the cool thing about that, though. I love that. And it does 2 things. Number 1, it says, where's your motivation? Number 2, we have a great phrase that we talk about all the time, where God guides, he provides. So when you step out in faith and you know God's sending you, God provides. Now sometimes, when there's a different philosophy with it, they'll be, okay, you're going to go send out a church, or we're going to send you with a bunch of money, and we'll send you with 3 years of salary, you go do it. Again, I'm not if that's the way God directs, that's great. But unfortunately, what I've seen in some cases, it's not a sovereign work. It's not a true desire for souls saved. 3 years go by, the church dissolves, and a lot of resources are wasted. It's sad. It's sad. And he says, you know what? I've used none of these things. When we moved here, it was funny, before we left, I was on like Monster.com, Career Builder. I'm like, I gotta find a job. And God's just speaking through my wife going,